love. Swear once, swear a plum, it's a fair sum. Like the second-hand store, I got these rare ones. Stepping from the barbershop, smelling like bay rum. All the previous drama, hey, I don't care, love. Find the free of it all, my head is clear of it all. Then all the self-doubts that I had, now I don't hear one. Last time I tried to exit, I left breadcrumbs. To find myself right back to you, yeah, it was hell dumb. Just to get walked all over like a bear rug. Now I'm seeing all my friends again, bear hugs. I know you're happier too without my cluelessness. Driving you mad, I know that I'm a lot to take. We're both free, we both see the sunlight. Our time is at an end, every now and then you gotta have a toast to better days.
I know, you know that hurts me. You know I love you so regardless of how I'm treated. Too long I've been defeated. Now it's my time to live right. Cut you right out of my life. Time to get down and move on. New man, I'm feeling so strong. I know, you know that hurts me. You know I love you so regardless of how I'm treated. Too long I've been defeated. Now it's my time to live right. Cut you right out of my life. Time to get down and move on. New man, I'm feeling so strong.
People. That is the sound of Friday night. And Friday night means it is time for the prophecy here on CIUT 89.5 FM, the longest running drum and bass radio show in the world, right here in Toronto. The tune that you heard was the Get Down from myself and Conrad Subs, released I think in 2021 or 2022, I can't remember which. Getting old, people. And the tune that you hear right now underneath me is called Solid Lines by Aaron Payne, Reflector, and our own RMS. So tonight, we have a very special guest joining us. Hailing all the way from the UK, it is Sweet Pea, leader of the EQ50 Collective, which is responsible for the EQ50 mentorship that has seen people like Manda Dextrous and Nia Archives rise from its ranks, as well as quite a few others, by the way. And they are on the verge of starting their third mentorship. But Sweet Pea's a lot more than that. Not only is she an accomplished DJ, but quite a big producer as well, and she is putting out a slate of tunes this year that is definitely her biggest by far of her career. So we're excited for that, as well as a guest mix featuring nothing but all Sweet Pea productions. And she's done this all specifically for The Prophecy. Now, I first interviewed her when she joined me and Armani Rain and Track on our previous streaming talk show, Roti and Poutine, so it's been a couple years. So it was good to catch up with her. In the meantime, I'm going to listen to the rest of this tune before we continue with the remainder of the show. I'm going to keep it going until the midnight hour, so keep it locked, everybody. This is The Prophecy. So this one here is Skrillex, Fred Again, and Flodan. This is called Rumble, the Millbrook Edit, and I love this one. Keep it locked, everybody. We're going to keep it going. This is The Prophecy.
Killers in the jungle. 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 We run for them life. When I step into the jungle, they would never move up. They better move up, never gonna win a roll up. But when I come through, you know I love it. Send shots to your team and leader. I make the witness decide to vacate the wars, get sweet just like a right leader. Yo, Millbrook. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle.
DJ, pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. Pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. Pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. Pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. Pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. Pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. Pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the DJ. DJ.
Killers in the jungle. 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 Run for the night. When I step into the jungle, there was no trooper. They better move up, never gonna win a Royal Rumble. But when I come through, you know what I love it. Send shots to your team and leader. I'm a fitness this side to vacate the wars, get sweet just like a right leader. Yo, Millbrook. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle.
Now, this is a polarizing tune. People either love or hate Gasolina by Daddy Yankee. But this Catch-22 bootleg, I gotta admit, I'm definitely digging it. So turn it up, everybody, because this is The Prophecy. Yes, yes, everybody. Underneath me is London Electricity's Well, That's a Switch, mixed by the one and only Polaris, one of our own. He's playing in San Diego this weekend, so good luck, buddy. In the meantime, we're going to get right into the Sweet Pea guest mix. Remember, it is 100% Sweet Pea Productions, and I gotta say, it's mostly dubs. Most of these are unreleased, so it makes it extra special because she crafted it just for us, and we couldn't be more thankful. After that, we're going to get right into the interview. It's about 40 minutes, and then we're going to hear a few tunes before we wrap it up at the witching hour. That's midnight for those of you who aren't witches. Hang tight, everybody. This is The Prophecy.
Hi, people minds.
We do not perceive.
Hi,
Yet we act as if nothing
people minds.
goes on in our minds. Strange, at least, by comparison.
People minds.
Purposeful doings of our minds.
Psychedelic. Right the way. Right the way. Right the way. Psychedelic. Mind of a psychic, the prophecy unfolds just the way that I envision it, spreading light into the darkness. Rhythms scattered, feeling like an Indonesian tribe on bits of tits. And every time you hear the tune, you're transported like a time machine to the first time in your head. Stopping this till the day we're 56, cause life's all about the journey. Seeing colors like the tropics, we're dropping microscopics into the optics. Seeing colors like the tropics, we're dropping microscopics into the optics. Seeing colors like the tropics, we're dropping microscopics into the optics. Seeing colors like the tropics, we're dropping microscopics into the optics. Right away. People minds.
water dropped, and the power began to increase. After 1 a.m.,
did I do? What did I say?
Now my select, take it up nice and easy. So someone forgets murder. Say in the meantime, go watch your right.
Got some projects coming up, so let's hear about those because there's a few, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be set to be my busiest year releasing music, which I'm super super excited about. I feel like all of the loops kind of came together properly last year and sort of towards the end of last year, and also I kind of was like, let me just put myself out there a little bit more. Hit up some people to do some collabs, got in touch with a few labels and was like, what have I got to lose? It's quite funny because it's like I always talk to people that I give advice to and I'm like, what's the worst that's going to happen? What's the worst thing they're going to say? But I don't ever follow my own advice. So yeah, it's going to be good. So I had my debut AKO Beats release come out last month, which was very cool. Came out on 10-inch vinyl, which is always nice to have a physical of your work. And it's been really cool. Like Stretch has been a massive supporter of me for so long, and I promised him a long time ago. He'd always be like, "When are you going to give me some tunes? When are you going to give me some tunes?" And I said to him a long time ago, I was like, "I promise you'll be the first person to get my jungle released, just sort of when I can do it justice." And yeah, it's right. Just everybody has just been so lovely, all the comments, and yeah, it's just been really really nice. So yeah, I've got that. What's coming up next? Gonna be back on Tres to Be, Benny L's label, with a track. It's quite a dark track called Rude FM. I made it last year, and it's a track that I really really like. I really like it, but just didn't quite know where to send it. And the great thing about Benny is he fully lets me just like experiment. You kind of associate Benny with a certain type of drum and bass and stuff, but actually all of the releases that I've had with his label have been darker stuff. And this one in particular, just it just sort of reminds me. It's a bit like the other tunes, Rapture and Bluebeam, that I released last year with him. But it just, the track for me just reminds me of just my Rude FM days, all in one kind of thing. And it's a bit of a Larry track, not gonna lie. So that's gonna be on a compilation coming, I think he said in June. And then probably the big one back on Sofa Sound with an EP. I actually made 6 tracks for Sofa Sound, and what we've done is split them into a single and then the 4-track EP. So the EP's coming out towards the end of the year, I think November. But I'm going to get a Sofa Singles Club they do every now and then, and there's going to be a track. It's a collab with me and Crystal Clear, and then there's like a little kind of Sweet Pea VIP that's going to come out of it as well. The track's done all right. It made its way to Locust Festival, so it's nice seeing people dance it there. Flight's been a big supporter of the track, and played it at like Warehouse Project. It's been just mad to see the reaction to people, and Strategy asking for a reload, SPMC asking what's this tune. So that track's a big one, and I'm looking forward to that coming out. So I've got Sofa Sound. I'm also going to be coming back to Dispatch. It's been a good few years since I released with Dispatch, and it's actually going to be my first solo release with them, because I had sort of collabs previously, and that's going to be Dispatch Dubplate, which is probably my favourite sister label of the 3, and that's going to be on vinyl as well. So a couple of vinyl this year, which is going to be cool. And that's another kind of like half-timey stepper, and then I've got like a rolling track with Brain, who is an incredible guy to work with. It's been nice to get on some beats with him. And then what else have I got? Hardcore Energy EP, so that's going to be some more like jungle and hardcore stuff. Got a collab with Settle Down on there, who an absolutely incredible guy, and it's been really, really cool to work with him. It was one of those sort of slight fangirl, but we chat a bit online and on like Instagram DMs and stuff quite a lot, and then I think I was just like, just putting like I said to you at the beginning, putting yourself out there a little bit, and I was just like, I would love to get on a track with you at some point. And he was just like, listen, I'm knee deep in album stuff at the moment, but as soon as it's done, I'm on it. And so we've got a track coming out together, which is exciting, really cool. And I think that might be it. Oh no,
That's all.
Found out the other day actually, that there's going to be a track coming out on V with Crystal Clear. Okay. It's going to be on a various artist compilation. So that literally got confirmed last week, I think. So I've got don't have too many details on that, but just got a thumbs up from Brian. So
beautiful.
So it's mad, like lots of different flavors, lots of different stuff, jungle, D&B, darker styles. It's nice, and I'm hoping just hope it all gets sort of received nicely, which I'm sure it will.
You mentioned like kind of fanning out, like is there anybody in drum bass, you're in the belly of the beast, right? So you're kind of in the center of everything, so you tend to see a lot of these people that many people like consider to be their idols or their role models in the genre. So is there anybody that you still kind of geek out over, or you've met and you were like a little bit of a nerd box because you were just like, oh my gosh, this is this person? Or on the flip side, is there anybody you haven't met yet that you're a little nervous to meet because you're going to kind of nerd out on them?
I think, I'll be honest, I think because I have been around for a little while now, I'd like to say that I've kind of met everybody, but I think you do get that I did have that like just real fangirl thing because you're just like, oh my God, these people are superheroes. You forget that they're actually humans as well with human feelings and stuff. But I did, yeah, I've definitely fangirled my way through a lot of years. But I think, yeah, I think it's a bit different now because I have sort of seen and met everyone, and I'd like to think a few of them are my mates and stuff now. But yeah, have definitely fangirled a lot of people. Just,
It was like the first person you recall meeting and you were like, holy shit.
Do you know what? One of my first holy shit moments was when Storm knew who I was.
Okay, yeah.
We had a very, very cool venue in London called Work Bar, and they used to do the DJ Mag bunkers there. You can still find it all on YouTube if you type in DJ Mag bunker. They used to do Rupture takeovers, Metalheads takeovers, all kinds of stuff. Really, really good videos to watch. And again, great club, another one that's gone now, unfortunately. And I remember I was there and my friend Toby I think it was a Metalheads one, and then my mate Toby turned around and went, "Oh, this is Sweet Pea." And she was like, "Yeah, I know Sweet Pea." And I just went, just sort of like melted, completely folded into myself. He's like, "Oh, do you know Sweet Pea?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course I know Sweet Pea." And I was like, "Oh my God." Yeah, so I think that was one of my first, like, be cool, sort the collar out, be cool. Yeah, it's all right, cash. Yeah, Storm knows who I am, casual.
It's funny to be in such a niche industry where we tend to rub shoulders with people that we've like always looked up to, especially I think from this side of the pond, it seems like that even more so. And when you finally get to talk to these people, the humanization comes into play really quick. Even people who seem kind of like larger than life, it's always like kind of the most surprising at the most fantastic aspect kind of drum and bass.
Yeah.
Kind of like the egalitarian nature of the fact that even the people that make the music are pretty much like the rest of us. And that kind of brings me around to with you. You are one of the people in drum and bass that is a day jobber. So how has your work balance changed in the last few years? You juggle having a regular life as well as your musical life, creating, DJing and everything, and then working a day job as well. Has that changed in the last few years as your profile has risen?
I think it's probably changed with age more than anything. I turned 35 a couple of weeks ago. It's not, I don't really go out anymore. I'll go to
35. You're a baby.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yeah, I think, and also I think like my love for D&B is a different kind of love now. I was talking about this in a podcast a little while ago. You fall in love with it on the dance floor, and you're just like, it's your one love. It's all you can see, and then, and I don't mean this in a negative way to put anyone off, but like when you sort of come onto the behind the decks, the kind of backstage, when you become a sort of behind the scenes sort of person, and I guess to an extent ignorance is bliss with certain things, but once you sort of get a good, and I'm talking about many years, you get a good few years behind you and sort of just see things, you see things, you see how people go on, you see how stuff happen to your mates and stuff like that. It kind of taints the sort of passionate raver love that you had for it, if that makes sense. But in a different respect, the older I get, it's a different kind of love now. I'm not no, I am a fan. I don't mean it so literally. I'm not a fan. I'm not a raver anymore. It's like, it's a more mature love with the music. I'm a creator now, rather than just being 20 something, hanging off the decks, getting drunk every weekend and just absolutely loving it. There is a bit more thought into it, and I can't go out like I used to. I don't want to go out like I used to as well. And it's just sort of about just focusing on, right, I'm going to write some beats today, and just having a little bit more focus rather than just sort of, I think there's so many positives in being a free spirit and going with the flow, and that was definitely me for a very long time. But just having a bit more focus with it and being like, right, oh, I've got a long weekend here, let's write some tunes, or getting those little chances when you're flying, to, if you're in the UK, it takes about 2 hours to get into Europe somewhere, right, let's get on some beats on the plane, and sort of just scraping those little moments when you can, really. But it's a lot of burnout, juggling so much sometimes. I'll be completely honest with you. I definitely couldn't have done this 10 years ago. I probably was doing it 10 years ago. But it's a lot. It's a lot of burnout, but it's also just a lot of organizing. I'd like to think I'm quite an organized person in, just in life. I live out of my phone calendar. I'm like, right, I've got to do this today, get this task done, get this job done. Write a little list when I get in from work of things that I need to do, mundane things like, right, I need to wash up, I need to do the washing, need to do this, need to take the bins out, those little things. I write lists, so I think in some respects I'm quite organized with it now. But it's a different process now. It's a different feeling. It's a different love for it now, I think
that comes with anytime somebody actually does the thing that they love, it does take away sort of like that innocent affection that you have for it. I play drums, and I don't play drums in a band or anything, which is, in a way, I'm kind of glad about, because I listen to drummers almost with a critical ear. I've been a barber, and like I still to this day look at haircuts with like a critical eye, and I'm like, I would have done that differently. I listen to other MCs, and I'm like, oh, I would have done that differently, and it's funny because the enjoyment that comes with what drew us to this in the first place is no longer unbridled. I remember feeling a sense of disappointment with that at one point, after a couple of years of being an MC, and I was like, it's not the same anymore. And you're right, some of it does come with age. I mean, some of us definitely can't stay up late anymore, but I find myself, if I want to listen to drum and bass for sheer enjoyment, listening to the music that came before I started participating on the musical side of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To the stuff that initially gave me like goosebumps and everything. I think that there's a lot of people that they don't know the story of EQ50. They might not know what EQ50 is about yet. I feel like while EQ50 has had a pretty huge impact on the industry side, I feel like there's a lot of people that, especially over here, that don't really know what it's about. So can you give us like a little nutshell what EQ50 is about and your role in it?
So EQ50 was formed in 2018 off the back of some stats about women on lineups in the drum and bass scene. And at the beginning, we were just sort of here to do networking days, just sort of get-togethers, start a little community, and it became apparent that we needed to do something a little bit with a bit more weight and a bit more impact, and that's where our EQ50 mentorship came about. So we run yearly mentorships, and we pit 5 mentees with 5 labels within drum and bass. We've worked with the likes of Ram Records, Critical, The Rupture, Drum and Bass Arena. This year we've got Drum and Bass All Stars joining us, AKO Beats. We've had 1985 be a part of our mentorship, and it's all basically just about learning. It's about fine-tuning the skills of producers in the scene to basically just help them get better. We do industry workshops and masterclasses, as well as sort of one-to-one sessions with the labels. And yeah, it's been a really, really good experience. More than anything, just all of the confidence that our mentees gain from it. Having been somebody that was a little bit later to production, confidence and just reassurance was my biggest thing. If someone had said a lot earlier, oh, this is really good, or your tunes are great, I probably would have started a little bit earlier. So Nia Archives and Mandy Dextrous came through our rankings, and they're probably two of the biggest artists at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing really, really well, especially Nia, absolutely soaring. And it's just about putting people in the right place as well. It's about using our contacts, just linking up people with others to, just help them become better artists and, all round better producers, basically.
Has there been, well, I shouldn't ask, has there been? I know that there has been, of people who are like, well, you shouldn't be booking somebody just because of their gender or just because of their color of their skin. So I tend to err on the side of, well, nobody's going to book a woman just because they're a woman. That would be silly, because then you could grab any woman and put her behind the turntable and say, there you go to work.
Yeah.
And I always felt like, well, it's not that different either than a promoter, hiring one of their friends to DJ, just because they're friends. So for you, has there been perhaps a more thoughtful than I can put it response to that kind of sentiment from any kind of backlash to progressivism within drum and bass?
Yeah, I mean, we get quite a lot of those comments and things like that, quite a lot. And it's understandable. The thing is, EQ50 isn't here to make superstars. We are here to help people that are already good producers fine-tune their skills and get better. We're a school, we're an information center. We're not here to just be like, oh, here you go, Critical, now this person is going to be headlining Boomtown. It doesn't work like that. And the whole point of it is there are and there have been super talented producers that are women around for a long time, but just haven't had, myself included, haven't had the confidence to send their music to labels or, particularly know how to send tunes to labels. And that's where we sort of fill in the blanks. There's a lot of sort of industry stuff that people don't quite know, whether it's knowing the etiquette of how to do it or just, specifically knowing what to do. And that's sort of where we fill in the blanks and stuff. But like I said, we don't just chuck people up on a massive pedestal and be like, there you go, you're going to go and headline Glastonbury. It doesn't work like that. Everybody has to work hard for what they're doing. It's just about giving talented people that don't, have the chance to get out there, basically. And that could be just down to either confidence or just lack of resources also.
When I interviewed Sharona Knight a couple of years ago, I said to her, in my view, the rise of women at that time, it was about 2022, maybe late 2021. I said, the rise of women drum and bass has largely been the rise of white women. To which she kind of giggled a little bit. But, we see that a lot of headliners that festivals put up, they're almost always white women. Has there been a discernible and identifiable disconnect on the industry side that is failing Black women and women of color, trans and like non-binary talent who have been trying to get into the industry, and there is just something that the promoter side, the agency side should be doing differently in order to authentically diversify their ranks?
Yeah, definitely. I've always thought, I think in my more anarchaic years before, so yeah, I've always thought that agencies should have implemented inclusion riders with their artists, to be honest. But I mean, just touching on what you were saying before, this year, so we're about to set off the third mentorship, the third year of mentorship this year. And this year has actually been the most women of colour that have applied ever before. And I personally think, part of that is because there is better visibility. You've got your people like Nia Archives, you've got your Sherelles, all of that kind of thing. It's where, Black women have been able to headline and be at the top of the flyer and on the big stages. it's then there's this whole new generation of women that want to, of black women that want to produce and make tunes. Do you know what I mean? Because it's, you know, the reason why there hadn't been so many before is because, you know, the parties aren't reflected. You're not going to go somewhere where you don't see yourself, see your people, you know, and why would you? You know, I kind of get it. Right. But I think there is a lot more inclusion, there is a lot more visibility. So you're bringing people to the parties you're playing at, do you know what I mean? And it's just quite interesting seeing the applications from this year, which is going to be year 3, to year 1, which was obviously 4 or 5 years ago now, but also just seeing how that correlates to what the scene looks like then and now.
A lot of people will say, like I said, I refer to people, the backlash to progressive efforts within drum and bass will say, well, you know, there should not be diversity for the sake of diversity. And I've always argued otherwise, that actually diversity is a perfectly valid goal to strive for. Just because representation matters. And now we're actually seeing that, like you said, with the new mentees coming in. So now that EQ50 is going forward and you've got this third mentorship about to start happening, are there other plans for EQ50 going into the future?
All I'm going to say is yes. So I can't give away anything at the moment. So the mentorship, there's always going to be a need for a mentorship. EQ50 is the mentorship, so that will just continue to keep running basically until I get to finally say one day, I don't need to do one. World peace has happened. I don't need to do one. But it has meant that, this year we are going to be looking to do some other projects alongside the mentorship. So I can't give away anything yet, but watch this space.
Why you gotta be fucking cryptic like that?
I know, sorry.
It's, you know, I still think that there's such a big disconnect, I think, with the heart of the industry, and people don't live near it. So a lot of times, even though the information comes to us instantaneously, I think a lot of us are still kind of like, what's going on over there? You know what I mean?
Do you know what? I think attitudes have got better. I know, I mean, just from my, conversations I'm having and conversations that I'm seeing and stuff, I feel like people that didn't quite get it when we first started kind of get it now. There's still a lot of people that hated it at the beginning and hate it now and will forever hate it because, it's not, things are done differently to how they came through, and it could be a case of like, I don't want these people taking my space. But for the best part, the younger lot, I have so much faith in the younger lot because they're just about it. But I have seen attitudes change and just people not come around, but maybe just understand it a little bit better. Just understand it a bit better is probably the right thing to say.
Now, in the recent past, we've had women DJs express their disappointment at certain things I don't think a lot of people think about when it comes to playing a gig that is very specific to women. Safety when it comes to transportation, lodging, things like that I think a lot of men would never think about because we never have to on a day-to-day basis. We've had a fairly well-known case with a pretty well-known promoter entity not address the needs of a particular DJ, and that DJ had to say, you know what, I play because of it. So where do you think that we really need to start focusing outside of the purely musical part of the industry in order to truly foster more inclusion when it comes to, at the very least, gender?
Ideally, we need an HR department in music. We need, that would be ideal, or at least what I said a long time ago was like a coalition, like all the biggest D&B agencies. I'm talking sort of, Basic, ESP, Clinic, those kind of big ones, Earth, just the heads of them lot coming together, kind of starting like a coalition thing to be like, right, we're all going to be reading from the same book. And they kind of set up, not necessarily like rules, but just like a set of guidelines. My thinking is, if you're in one of those big agencies, you're getting booked all the time, you're probably, what you'd like to say in inverted finger quotes, a D&B superstar, celebrity, or whatever. You've got the most impact. So if these rules are sort of put in place by these agencies for the promoters, it's going to be giving the promoters a way to do things. So it will then become sort of natural for them to then do it elsewhere with other artists as well. I think there definitely needs to be like a D&B book of rules, not rules, but just like a D&B book of like, hey, we're all gonna guidelines, yeah, but like that everybody agrees to, but I think just unfortunately there's just a lot of people that are like, well, doesn't matter, I never got a taxi home. It's just that kind of, just take yourself out of it. It's quite interesting to see how people, their attitudes, it amazes me, some of the things that I hear and see, especially on like things like Twitter and stuff. I see things and I'm just like, you've got daughters, you've got a daughter, and that's your attitude. Like, that's mad. It's crazy. Would you not want your daughter to be safe? Or God forbid your daughter wanted to be a D&B artist or something like that, and that's taking the kind of like D&B nepo baby out of it, but just, what everybody's like, and you kind of, that's your attitude when you've got daughters. Like, that's quite surprising sometimes. I don't know, I'd just love to see the big artists be like, right, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to have an inclusion rider, I'm going to make sure that the promoter does this and this. But unfortunately everyone's just a bit too worried about themselves and their own money, their own ego, to want to help other people. That's the mad thing. Like, I love helping people. Like, if there was ever a point where I would get massive, don't think I'm not bringing all of my mates with me and all the new people, all the newcomers. There are some artists that are really good at doing that, bringing people through, but like 90% of them don't, and there is usually the people that we need bringing people through that don't. And it's wild to me that people don't want to do that. Like, I don't know, it's a bit weird sometimes.
So coming back to Sweepy as an artist, this is going to be your biggest year musically yet, and people are no longer thinking of you as just a DJ. People are now thinking of you as a producer. With drum and bass being, especially over here, kind of niche, outside of the UK, it can be an acquired taste. Is there a side of you that you were wanting to start indulging, like non-drum and bass material?
Oh, I've got a hip hop EP that's going to come out at some point. Yeah. I've been making... I do, like, listening wise, I listen to everything but D&B. I listen to D&B in the gym, I'll put my radio shows on, or I'll listen to specific mixes. But aside from that, I love my lo-fi hip hop, UK soul, jazz. I've been making other stuff. I've been making a lot of hip hop. I've got I've got an EP's worth. I'm hopefully going to look into getting some PRS funding and sort of do it properly, do a vinyl release on Bandcamp, that kind of thing. I've been making some dubstep as well. And I've also got some, I don't know, festival techno, not like hard techno, but like chill, not chilled techno. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, just sort of like techno-y beats as well. There was a time where I was like making D&B, and I was like, I just need to make something else just to keep the,
Right.
just keep the vibe a bit different and switch it up. I made drum and bass for so long, and I was like, I listened to all this other stuff. Why don't I try to make it? And then it was actually my friend Biddle. He's a dubstep artist. He invited me to his studio, and they were just making some gorgeous hip hop stuff, and was like, "Yeah, come on here." Gave me a little drum pad thing, and with twisty knobs and effects and stuff. And yeah, we just had a jam session, and it kind of started there really. But yeah, I've got a really cool project that I'm hoping will see the light of day at some point. I'll send it to you as well. It'll be cool.
Now, is that are you intending to do that, release that yourself, or like shop that to a label, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think maybe do it myself. Ideally, I'd love to send it to a label, but I'll be completely honest with you, where I'm a listener and a fan of that kind of music, I have no idea when it comes to labels. So yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure sort of where I would even start into getting it out there. But yeah, there's going to be another round of PRS money coming soon. So I'm thinking I might maybe apply and that be the sole project for the money. And then, yeah, do some music videos, like get like a proper studio session for the vocals and stuff. Yeah, got some ideas for it.
Nice. And for the listeners here, explain what PRS is.
So PRS is basically it's a company that deals with not only sort of royalties for, publishing royalties sort of for your music and things like that, but also they dish out yearly funding for different projects. You can get stuff if you're a crew, you can get it if you're a touring artist. There's one specifically for women, I think it's called Women Music Makers or something. They have a hit makers fund. There's 2 rounds of that. And yeah, it just gives you anything between sort of 3 to 10k to bring your project to life. And it's a really, really great thing. There's some, artists that are quite big now that have come through the PRS rankings. I think they're opening one in May for promoters as well. So it's like an early promoter fund. So, if you're a new night, a new label, and just want to help, it can help get your event off the ground basically. And yeah, I'm not quite sure the full stipulations, but I imagine it will be support and money towards things like marketing, equipment hire, venue hire, that kind of thing. It's quite tough. I'm not great at writing, and it's like you have to literally know every single penny of what is going to go where and what you need the money for. It's quite tough to fill out the application, but it's fantastic. Colette and Ria is a prime example of two people that, we posted it in the EQ50 group on Facebook, and then they applied, and that was how they got funding for, I think it was the LP project, their recent LP project. So, and with that they got money to do merch with t-shirts. I think they did some sort of lyric videos, and obviously got an album's worth of producers to send tunes as well. And I think they did a remix project with that as well. So yeah, definitely, and that's obviously they pitched that as their idea, and they got the funding for it.
So are you going to be releasing that non-drum based material as Sweet Pea or under a different moniker?
I might just keep it as Sweet Pea. I have thought about this. I think
it's a fascinating issue with producers, like to see what they choose to do.
I think I'd probably just keep it as Sweet Pea, just because I think if I was making other stuff as in depth as I am and as regular frequency wise as I am with drum and bass, then maybe it would deserve a different alias. But I think whilst a hip hop project, I might not that I won't do another one, but it's not, I don't know, I'm sort of like, I'm 100% for drum and bass, and I think until I would be like, I'm going to be 100% for this genre, I think I'd probably just keep it as Sweet Pea, because it's sort of just like a fun project, not the main one, if that makes sense.
Right.
I've thought about it. Also, I have no idea what else I'd call myself. Like, I don't want to think of another alias.
Yeah,
Sweet
it's
Pea
funny.
2.
And I remember
2P.
in the 90s, so many, like even drum and bass producers would have multiple aliases, even just within
Mm.
drum and bass. You look at Photech and Paradox and
Yeah.
things like that, and they would have like these multiple aliases, like Ray Keith, and then seeing some producers do that across different genres. And sometimes I'm kind of like, why don't you let people know all the stuff that you do at the same time?
Well,
So-
that's my thinking of it, actually. Yeah, like if it's, all the hip hop stuff, the dubstep, the techno-y bits, it's all offcuts of me as an artist. So, I guess it just sort of funnels people that listen to that specific genre to, if you're listening to my Spotify and then it goes from like heavy drum and bass to ambient techno to more drum and bass to liquid to then some lo-fi hip hop. I don't know, as a listener, maybe I guess it's more of a kind of channeling the genre groups, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, for me, I'm just like, it's all part of me. So it's all part of like Sweet Pea and my musical identity as Sweet Pea.
As far as your listening is concerned, when you listen to like hip hop, are you more of an instrumental hip hop person, or it doesn't matter to you?
Yeah, no.
I'm curious to know who you listen to.
So I love people like Melodies Infoni. There's a guy called Cygn, spelt Cygn. I love all that, like just real, lo-fi, glitchy, hip hoppy. It's not heavy on the ears. It's like, what's that? When there's like a YouTube channel where it's like study beats.
Study beats, yeah.
Yeah, I like study beats. It's that kind of vibe.
That's the funniest thing, because beats like absolutely prevent me from being able to study or read anything. I always want to tap along. I always play drums, so I can't listen to music that has any kind of percussion when I study. It's just I can't. My brain immediately wants to go elsewhere. So, well, that's super exciting. I'm glad to hear that you're doing that, because I always think that like dabbling in other forms of music, it keeps the producer brain super fresh. And
definitely.
I always like the bleed through of influence. Like one of my favorite producers actually hasn't released very much stuff at all. It's just a friend of mine from near here, and you can hear his like his love of late 90s tech house in all of his drum and bass. It has these like little like these like subtle techno nods and like house music nods and stuff like that, and it gives his sound a very unique feel. And I think that one of the problems that artists have sometimes is that maybe they listen to too much of the music that they actually produce. I had an interesting discussion with the RS, and he was saying that he doesn't listen to anything like what he actually makes when it's time for him to create. He listens to like movie scores.
Yeah, I think it's important to listen to other stuff. I think it just, don't get me wrong, I think you need to listen to drum and bass 24/7 to become a diehard fan. I think the D&B fans are completely different to any other scene and genre, and you have to go through that. This is all I'm going to listen to be that diehard fan. But also, like, there's so much stuff out there, but I kind of feel, if you're listening to one thing the whole time, it's just where it then becomes a bit stale and samey, and you can you got to take influence from elsewhere. Like, no electronic music genre is one specific thing. It's all little segments of all different stuff, and I think we're seeing that now. There's like another bleed through of like certain genres and things like that, like especially I think where D&B producers are making other genres. Like obviously there's a lot of D&B producers making dubstep at the moment, and it's, you can hear the drum and bass influence within the dubstep, if that makes sense, even though it's sort of 30 BPM less. But I think there are certain sort of, I don't know, I just hear it quite a lot now, just tracks with, you can hear the electronic influence within that of like a different genre coming into it.
If there's one thing, this is a very corny question, just to warn you.
Oh, go on, love it, go on.
If there's one thing that you could change about drum and bass industry, strictly musically, though, strictly musically, if there's one thing that you could change about this, that list is too long. I'm not going to do that to you. Strictly musically, if there's one thing about drum and bass that you could change currently, like as the industry standard, what would it be?
Oh, musically. Do you know what? This might be a little bit controversial. I would take away all the tutorials. Now, devil's advocate, obviously with the hours of tutorials, Patreons and one-to-ones, producing has become more accessible, which is great, myself included. Do you know what I mean? It's become open to so many more people. But without the tutorials, people were making stuff by accident. There wasn't sonically, the music is incredible. You've got there's like a movie going on in your head sometimes. Mix down wise and levels, it's fantastic, but there's just no vibe with many tracks, I think, just because there is, everyone's kind of just got the blueprint of how to make D&B and no one's really experimenting. If we think about people, some of the trailblazers, it was all accidents in the, moving noodles and creating sounds by accident. It wasn't somebody being like, I think where it's become so technical and so mixed down and numbers based, it's kind of taken the vibe out. I know people out there that their mix downs are some of the most incredibly sonically perfect tracks, but there's no vibe to the track. There's nothing that sort of sets it special or above anything else that's the rest of what's going on in the scene. Obviously I know with certain subgenres stuff is gonna sound the same. If you're making liquid, it's gonna have a certain sound. If you're making sort of stuff for sofa sound or break, if you're trying to make tunes like break, there's gonna be a certain sound to it. But I think where people are being told how to produce and how to make these sounds, they're not figuring it out and learning how to make these sounds for themselves, if that makes sense. Yeah, there's a certain sort of magic that's lost in tracks these days, I think. And I think it's where I saw someone say this years ago and I was like, no, what? I didn't understand it until I did. And I think, it's just people, music is art, music is creative. There's no rules, but there just seems to be a lot of rules around producing now. There's boundaries, but I don't know, people aren't sort of experimenting and stuff like that now. It's a bit, and I think we're obviously, everyone's got Serum, everyone's got Massive. There are certain things we're all just using the same stuff, so of course everything's going to sound the same because we're all using the same plugins, we're all using the same synths, we're all, do you know what I mean? Controversial one.
I don't think that's controversial. I think that's insightful. Sweet Pea, do you have any last words for the people before we let you go?
World peace. Stop being dickheads.
And all right, so everybody keep an eye out for those Sweet Pea releases coming out soon. That's very exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to that hip hop EP. That one's got my ears particularly perked. So thank you very much for the time you spent with us. We really do appreciate it. And thank you very much for the mix. Very excited about that.
Thank you for asking. Appreciate it. Good to chat to you again finally. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, last time was on Roti and Poutine with Track under Monty Rain, right?
Yeah, while we were all locked up.
I know, it seems so long ago. All right, well, thank you. You have a good night and you sleep tight. And have a great week.
And you, darling. See you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, love.
All right, so this one is Sweet Pea and Shady Novell. It is entitled Love Is. Just a little bit longer until we hit midnight, so keep it locked, everybody. This is The Prophecy. Here we go.
That is part of you believing. Love, it is a magic. Love can be so beautiful, yet so tragic. Love is everything, but it can be so tragic, magical tragic. Finding the feeling of love.
Yo, this is Tyler Daly from Children of Zeus. I just want to wish a happy 30th anniversary to The Prophecy. Sending love all the way from Manchester, UK. Hey.
Hello, this is Robert Manos, wishing The Prophecy a happy 30th anniversary.
Hey, this is MC Tali from Aotearoa, New Zealand, just wishing a happy 30th anniversary to The Prophecy. Big love, team. Big love, team.
Yes, all massive, all raving crew, listen up. This is the one and only Tom Piper, and I'm sending a big shout out and salute to The Prophecy. 30 years in the game and still running things. Big up all ravers, all junglists, DJs, MCs and promoters, and keep that junglist flag flying high. Flying high. Flying high. Flying high.
Yeah, this one goes hard. This is Sweet Pea and MC Sass. It's called Drips, DRIPS. The prophecy continues. Let's go.
Absolutely slaughtered.